As we long suspected and finally officially learned this week, the Democratic Party will not be coasting into Washington in January on a filibuster-proof 60-seat Senate supermajority surrounded by rainbows and puppy dogs and Republican-repellent force fields. On Tuesday night in the bright red state of Georgia, Republican incumbent Senator Saxby Chambliss was reelected in a runoff election where he beat Democratic challenger Jim Martin by about 15 points. So what does the Chambliss win mean for the Republican Party, for the political landscape in general? In literal terms, it means there will be at least 41 Republican senators in the next Congress instead of 40. But in GOP spin land, it means that clearly Barack Obama is a washed-up has-been and the Republicans are dominant once again. Here's what RNC Chairman Mike Duncan wrote today in an op-ed on Politico.com. Quote, Chambliss won in spite of strong support by President-elect Obama and Democrat organizations for Jim Martin. Georgians clearly sent a message that any rhetoric about a liberal mandate is nothing but hot air. It's as if holding on to their Senate seat in Georgia has suddenly convinced Republicans that they didn't already lose last month. John McCain was the secret winner all along, and Congress super red. As for Senator Chambliss himself, well, in GOP spin land, he didn't just hold on to his Senate seat in a runoff race, he rebranded and refocused the entire Republican Party. In his post-runoff election victory lap, Chambliss is casting himself as the hero, not just for Georgia, but for the entire GOP. He told reporters yesterday that his less than a month-long campaign for the Senate runoff was effectively the first campaign of 2010, one that Republican candidates can use as a model in the next election cycle. Then he went on the TV machine and took it one step further. He said he didn't just beat Jim Martin effectively, he says he beat Barack Obama. And he would have beat him even harder if Obama would have just shown up.
I have no idea why he didn't come down, but his people were here, his organization was here, and we knew that. If he had been here, I have no idea whether it would have worked better, but I do know this, Steve, that if he had come down, it would have fired up our base even more.
Okay, just back up for a second. Senator Chambliss perhaps is forgetting that he didn't actually win on Election Day. He didn't get 50% of the vote and was forced into a runoff. Because by my calculations, if you're a Republican incumbent senator in the Deep South, you should probably win on November 4th if you want something to brag about. First, there's the small matter of the power of incumbency. Sitting U.S. senators win re-election about 80% of the time. In other words, holding onto your Senate seat is not a remarkable accomplishment. You know what else is not remarkable? Winning a race after the polls predicted you would win it, which is exactly what happened in Georgia. Saxby Chambliss was ahead going into the actual election, and he was ahead going into the runoff, and then he won. Breathtaking. Look, there was no way that the Republicans were going to sit around feeling sorry for themselves for too long, and they were always going to come out swinging against their vanquishers in this last election. But are they really hanging their opposition on Saxby Chambliss's stunningly predictable, surprisingly difficult defense of one Senate seat in the South? Really? Joining us now is Rosa Brooks, columnist for the Los Angeles Times. Rosa, it is always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here, Rachel.
Didn't we sort of see this in 2006 as well, when the Democrats won the midterms and the right tried to spin it like it had effectively been a tie?
Absolutely. When Democrats win, it's at best a tie, and at worst, it's some kind of weird piece of trickery. When Republicans eke out a narrow victory, it is a mandate, as in 2004, when Karl Rove was quick to turn George Bush's 2.5% popular vote margin into a mandate for the GOP.
Do you think that they will be effective? I mean, I think that the Chambliss hook is sort of a laughable thing to hang it on, but they are trying to sort of say that Barack Obama's got no mandate. It's still a center-right country, that the country is obviously still very conservative, and Democrats are obviously still greatly disliked. Do you think it's getting any traction?
Well, yeah, I will hand it to them. This is the party of positive thinking. This is the party that brought us mission accomplished. This is the party that brought us the economy as strong fundamentals in the middle of the economic meltdown. And now this is the party that is managing to turn Obama's 7% popular vote margin into, strangely, a Republican victory. I don't think it's going to work any better than any of the previous two examples worked for them. You know, that you read, you know, when things are genuinely close, that's when you've got some room for spin. you know, there's some genuine ambiguity about how to interpret something that's close, and you can make lots of different kinds of arguments. When things are not close, and this election in November 4th was obviously not close at all, as you said, it doesn't really mean a whole heck of a lot for a Georgia Republican incumbent to hang on to his seat as he was expected to do. You know, so when you've got that situation of a massive Democratic victory nationwide, and then one tiny little thing happening as expected, it's not a big ray of light. You can't do a whole heck of a lot with it, although I can't blame them for trying.
They are certainly trying. But impotent attempts at spin aside, more substantively, Senator Chambliss is trying to brand himself as the guy who knows how to win in the Republican Party right now, who's not afraid to take on President-elect Obama. And you think about that substantively and strategically, I know where Obama's left flank is because I'm sort of on it. And that's the way that I look at his transition period thus far. Where is his right flank? Do we know yet what Republicans are going to go after him about?
Well, I think we're going to see the Republican Party splitting into the more pragmatic moderates who are going to look at Obama and say, we can work with this guy on a lot of issues where there shouldn't be as much partisan rancor as there has been. And they're going to say, we're in the midst of crises on every possible front. We've got security crises, we've got an economic crisis, you name it. We've got a crisis for it. So I think the pragmatic Republicans are actually going to do their best to work with Obama as Obama is sending out signals through keeping on Gates at the Defense Department and so forth, that he is trying to work with them. On the other hand, the far-right Republicans are, they've been on the right flank of everybody, frankly, including most people in the country, for a long time. They're going to stay right there. They're going to do exactly what they have been doing, lo these many years. I think the only real question for them is the degree to which they're going to just find themselves more and more marginalized as moderates within their, as Obama creates more of a place for moderates within the Republican Party to go to. Can Obama create a new center pulling in a lot of the moderates in the GOP?
Karl Rove in the Wall Street Journal today argued that Obama beat John McCain because he outspent him, sort of implying that if Obama had stayed in the public finance system, then maybe McCain could have won. It just made me think that Democrats fall all over themselves to trash their candidates and themselves when they lose. It seems like the Republicans will blame anything but their candidate and themselves. Does that tell you anything about the sort of lessons learned that the Republicans will take away from this last election?
If they take that lesson away, it's not going to help them very much to win next time. I think that the smart Republicans, the thoughtful Republicans, are recognizing this last election for the defeat that it was, and they're trying to draw the lessons of, what did we do that screwed things up for us? How did we lose people? Rather than trying to pretend it was, somehow malign fate or an accident. You're not going to do any better next time if that's your theory. But, the Rove idea that Barack Obama only won the election because he had more money is a kind of strange one. It gets the causation absolutely backwards. I mean, Obama didn't win the election because he had more money. He had more money because more Americans wanted him to win the election, and therefore more Americans gave him more money. On the other hand, when it came to the GOP ticket, there just wasn't that much enthusiasm, and not many people wanted to put their wallets on the line for a ticket that they didn't care that much about. I think that the thing that the Republicans are going to have to learn from, and others will have to learn from, is his incredible success at getting so many small donations from so many people.
Rosa Brooks, columnist for the Los Angeles Times, with that crazy liberal biased math again. Thank you for coming on the show tonight, Rosa.
Thanks a lot, Rachel.